Hello, I'm Daniel Stewart. Based on the video Howard and Andre, I'll develop an eco map with you based on Howard while identifying each family member and their system resources. Howard, affectionately known as Howie, is a 39-year-old who has navigated a path through profound challenges towards a hopeful horizon. Once a professional driver and stunt car trainer, Howie's life took an unexpected turn following a severe motorcycle accident at the age of 25, which left him with shattered knees, crushed legs, and a long road of 13 surgeries over a 5-year period. The physical pain and emotional turmoil from this life altering event led Howie down a path of alcoholism, seeking solace in the numbing embrace of alcohol to cope with the chronic pain and the challenges in his life trajectory. So let's start with Howie. So, as our eco map, we're going to have him here in the center. So to progress this video, I've kind of preempted a lot of these things. So I'm part of our positions here. So I'm going to just paste them in. So first, we're starting with Howie. Right? So we briefly kind of talked about with him being 25 years old, had that accident, which resulted in 13 surgeries over 5 years. Pretty traumatic experience. From that surgeries, right, so in that accident, I believe I would say that Howie developed depression. So we're going to add that in here. And then alcohol dependency. So we're going to add that in here too. So like this. I'm going to make it a little smaller, move it over here as well. So then for depression and alcoholism, we're going to add some flow lines here to see how these kind of connect here to the accident and Howie's life trajectory. And then connecting depression and alcoholism together, right? So because those are kind of causes and one in each other. So the story wasn't all about Howie. Right? So he had some pretty traumatic experiences, but the things that have happened in his life has also affected his family members and the people around them. So let's kind of start with his girlfriend Veronica. So let's add Veronica in here as well. So based on the story and the scenario so far that we've heard, Veronica's been pretty big advocate for Howard, right? So she's a pretty big support system. And then we're gonna move in, and then we have Beverly. Beverly is Howard's mom. So, as a mother or a parent, especially someone that raised Howie to seeing all the potential that he had going for in his life at a young age, had a great job, a career, the thing that he always loved, getting into this accident, and then everything just coming to chaos. Right, so, and then I think that includes George too. George is the father. So let's add George in here. So between Veronica, Beverly, and George, as Howie continues down this path towards alcoholism and dependency, they are really concerned. George has had some medical appointments where he's really on a path that's going to kill him. Right, so they're really concerned. So they're at a point to where they want to um, really hold an intervention and really just say that, hey, we have to do something or it's going to be the end. Right, so Veronica, she's kind of all led this and been in communication with a couple different facilities, and then ultimately was in contact with Dr. Fields, who's an intervention specialist. It kind of helps them out kind of through a little bit of this story. But here, at this very moment, I'm still writing and adding some lines so to kind of show some direction of where these things go. And so, and while you're adding arrows to kind of go both ways, right? So, because Howie and Veronica, while she's feeding into him, he's also feeding into her, right? So she's really being financially supportive in this whole environment. Right? Howie isn't currently working, so she's been taking care of everything. The story doesn't tell if Beverly or George have committed anything financially, but you could assume so. So we're going to draw arrows both ways here. But then also how Beverly's connected, Veronica, and so how this whole triangle and this whole has become one big family and how they're all supporting each other. So now we're going to add Dr. Fields into the situation here. So now we have Dr. Fields over here. So as they're going through this intervention, the process, really, so they're identifying a lot of things that's really so affecting Howie, but then also affecting them each individually too. So first, let's talk about like Howie, right? So some of his needs are problems, right? So he needs ongoing medical support. He requires professional treatment and support for alcohol dependency, financial stability, right? So that's one of the big things, right? So he's missing that. So let's add financial stability here too as well. Let's add that up here. All right, so we're going to put this over here between Veronica and Howie. All right, so in a lot of his ongoing concerns here. Okay. But then once again, this is going to connect back to Veronica. Veronica, she has needs as well, and while she's being the support here, she may need emotional support in dealing with Howard's alcoholism and its impact on their relationship. Requires access to information and resources to support his recovery. Right, so he's going to get some of that from Dr. Fields, but then also her own research and then ability to be able to identifying some of those issues that are going on with him. And so, have some terms that we're going to add in here. Some of the things that they could be going through. So, emotional well-being, emotional coping, some emotional support. And so we're going to connect all of these here together. Right? So because they're all leading to each other. So as Dr. Fields continues to work with the entire family, right, leads the intervention with Howie. Right, so this is going to go also back to the family here. Right, and how do they all connect? As the story continues, after they've come up with all the details for the intervention for Howie, Veronica tells Howie that she has a job interview and it's at this hotel and asks him to meet there so that she's not going alone. And then upon entering the hotel room is whenever Howie is greeted um, by Dr. Fields and his family. They're all there to tell him how they're concerned and what they wish and what they hope and what they've helped happily arrange for him. And tell him how they really are concerned that how he's going to die and they're going to lose him. Um, so through this whole situation, and as they continue to discover how the family feels, and then how he feels about this whole situation, how he agrees to go to treatment. So, and that's held at Cedar Hospital. How he agrees, he departs the following day to go to Cedar Hospital, which is located in Texas. Gets on a plane at the airport. He has his last drink, right? So, and then kind of like a farewell, like a goodbye, and then he does 31 days of inpatient treatment. So, how he agrees to go to Cedar Hospital through the help with Dr. Fields and his family. Cedar Hospital is very efficient and helpful and works with Howie to overcome his alcoholism and just learn new techniques and better coping mechanisms, to where then he transitions to transitional housing outside of Dallas, Texas, where he spends a number of days there before coming home. After Howie's successful time with the transitional housing, he returns home. He gets a job again. His relationship is flourishing once again back at home with Veronica, with his parents. Um, and then he finds his job back to becoming a stunt car driver again. So he's finding his passions all over. Uh, I'm going to add this back down in here. How this all kind of comes back around. So this eco map identifies needs and problems, can serve as a foundation, right? So ultimately, there's a lot that went into this, right? So it wasn't just about Howie, right? So while he was the center here, right? So, but it took the whole family, right? So it was everybody that took action and was able to help him overcome some of his life issues, um, and ultimately, it saved him. It helped save his life, right? So, and then um, brought him back, be able to develop those relationships, ins and outs of all of it. So the eco map kind of simplifies the complex web of the relationship and just draws like a visualization to all of it. But in the end, there's still going to be ongoing needs assessments that's going to happen with this family. Veronica's going to need some ongoing care. Beverly, George, like so the thought of losing their family, but then Howie has to rebuild relationships. Right, so he has a lot to go and he still has a lot to work on. Um, Thank you guys for joining me today. So, and I've really enjoyed putting this all together. Let me know your thoughts and your impressions on this. I look forward to hearing back from you. Thanks.